Hello and welcome to episode 30 of Seagulls Social. I am your host Maz, and of course I'm joined by Ryan and Ben. Boys, what a terrible week to be a Brighton fan.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh god.
Ryan, your curse is actually real. Like, I don't want you having a birthday. I don't want you having a birthday ever again. Simple.
Mate,
it's actually a shambles.
I fear for next February. I can't lie. Fear for next February. Hopefully, we don't play like Leeds or Palace next February. Otherwise, we're in trouble.
Hopefully, we don't play anyone in February. Hopefully, there's like a 5 month and we just don't play. Or something. I don't know.
Have like a lockdown next February or something.
Sack it all off. Right, boys. We usually go through like how we usually do it. We go through like the game, don't we? But I think we need to talk about the big talking point from the game. Now, just to be clear, this is from my angle. Like that for me, it didn't like. Make sure that the game was the outcome of that because of that thing that happened with the referee. Like we still missed 2 penalties. Like, do you know what I mean? It was our own fault that we lost. Like we can't blame it on a referee. But of course, what happened was mental. So Ryan, let's start with you. What was when that happened? Right, when he disallowed that goal, were you first of all clear on what happened? And second of all, like, do you think they handled it the right way?
If anyone comes out and says that he handled it the right way, they are absolutely lying, because there is no way on earth that anyone on this planet can tell me that he handled that in the right way. It was abysmal. And I said at that moment, I'm pretty sure I put a tweet on saying sack Lee Mason right now, because he does not have a clue what is going on in this game. And I'm pretty sure one of the ex-referees even said that he lost his focus, in his own words. And I was thinking,
Dermot Gallagher said that, didn't he?
Yeah, if you're losing focus in any other profession and you can't stay, I'm pretty sure Lewis Dunk said at half time he didn't want to speak to him. He didn't tell him a reason, and even after full time, Graham Potter didn't. He still didn't have a reason. So if you can't give a reason as to why you made your decision and then went back on your decision and then went back on that decision, I'm sorry. In any other profession, you're going to be in serious trouble. And just because it's referees, everyone's like, oh no, protect the ref. Why? Why protect the ref? Why protect the ref? It's their fault. This one is all on him. And no one can say, oh, it's all VAR. This one is on the single man that is Lee Mason. It's not on...
Single man, reveal yourself.
Single man, reveal yourself.
Lee Mason. It's on one individual who cost us... that goal. And I'm not going to say, as you said, Maz, it doesn't cost us the game, because technically if you miss 2 penalties in a game, you don't deserve anything. But I mean, come on now, that was just pathetic.
Preach.
Embarrassing.
That was a shambles.
Embarrassing.
And Ben, anything to add, or any other kind of viewpoint on the whole situation?
I'll go from a different angle, right? And I'll do it as a West Brom fan. Lee Mason, I know I get what people are saying about how free kicks are meant to be the advantage of the attacking team because they failed it. I get that. But also, I feel like Lee Mason, I don't know, as a West Brom fan, I would be annoyed at Lee Mason for saying the free kicks, to take the free kick, whilst your goalkeeper is still sorting out the ball by the post. I watched Ben Foster's Cycling GK, and he actually said about it, this was like a couple months ago, he was like, whenever we have a free kick, I'll make sure to go to the referee straight away and say, when I'm ready, ref. And then the referee sometimes will say, yeah, okay, when you're ready. And then Ben Foster will put his thumb up. And... But yes, the referee just said, yeah, go for it. Lewis Dunk done what he did against Liverpool, which was perfectly legal last season. Why wasn't it legal this time? The fact that he blew the whistle again, panicking so much. Like, I'm pretty sure it
I'm panicking, I'm going to lose my job.
I'm panicking, I know. Ruin my weekend. Yeah. Bloody ruined my fucking weekend.
The fact he went to the monitor to check his decision. Yeah. You know if you blew the whistle or not. You don't have to check it on the thing. Oh, did I blow this? If you don't know that...
They were checking whether it went over the line, though. The second whistle, I think they were checking whether it went over the line.
But wasn't the rule, though...
He should know that. He should know when
apparently the rule... So apparently the reason why it was ruled out was because he blew his whistle before the ball went over the line.
Yeah.
So apparently that's why it was disallowed.
But why did he blow the whistle?
Because he
panicked because the West Brom goalkeeper wasn't ready. I think he panicked because Sam Johnson wasn't ready. And he also, obviously, all the West Brom players ran over to him. It's like, we weren't ready. They've sorted out the wall. But mate, I think some pundits are saying that that's okay. Like the attacking team should be able to take quick free kicks. I think Gary Lineker even said like he's trying to make it a thing where like you can take a free kick straight away.
Exactly.
As soon as you get the free kick.
It's their fault if they haven't got themselves prepared. You can't prepare. Prepare to fail, mate. Yeah. It's your fault.
Ryan, you make a good point though. Like, why has he blown it for a quick free kick then? If I just understand why he's blown it so quickly. If he wasn't prepared to, it doesn't make sense. But a good point you made, Ben.
He said Donkey, didn't he?
Yeah, but no, but a good point you made, Ben, about the West Brom angle. So a guy on Twitter as well, on Instagram, DM'd us as well, saying he's a West Brom fan, and he said, let's be real though, he shouldn't have been allowed to take the free kick whilst the keeper was on his post. But then I replied with, Thierry Henry did it back in the day and it counted, so why not now? And it's the referee's error, not ours. But then he said, also, it's not our error. So I get it, like I get it from their perspective as well. It's like, what do you do in that situation? What do you reckon? Let's start with you, Ryan. What would you have done if you were the referee there? You know you fucked up, right? Which he did. He knows he's messed up. What else could he really have done apart from the fact what he did? Like, what else could he do?
He should have just given. You can't. I'm sorry, right? You cannot blow your whistle and then point to the thing to give the goal and then say, actually, no, I don't want to do that. You can't do that, mate. You can't do that.
That's where he screwed up.
That's where he messed up.
Your decision's final. Make your decision and stick with it. Don't make a decision and change your mind.
Because it undermines you, doesn't it, next time? Yeah, it undermines you next time, doesn't it? Like, then no one's going to respect you as a referee anymore because well, not only that's definitely not his first ever error because we all know from was it Wolves Nuno Espirito Santos had that big sort of rave about him and he got fined, was it 25k for coming out and speaking about him? So I dread to think what Dunkey's going to get now for coming out.
I think Dunkey's got away with it because Luke Shaw's already been fined for the thing he said.
Oh really?
The Chelsea game, yeah.
Well,
that someone made a big deal saying how's Dunk got away with it, but Luke Shaw's been fined straight away. And I said because no one cares about Brighton, and that's quite true.
But the thing is, like, Dunk didn't say anything too outrageous. He didn't say anything that bad. He just said it was embarrassing and the ref needs to come and speak to the media. And I don't understand why they can't just come and justify their decisions. Because if you can't, as I said, in any other profession, if you can't justify your decision for something, then you're going to be in serious trouble as to why you made that decision. If you can't, it's like me saying anything about, I decided to go for a walk today. And then I thought, actually, no, I don't want to go for a walk today. Halfway through, it's like, oh yeah, but I can't remember if I made that decision or not. Let me go watch the TV screen to see if I thought I actually said that. Well, it's just like, mate, you can't go back on your decisions. And if the higher ups in football I was going to say, if the higher ups in football can't see what's going on, then how are we going to understand what's going on? Because as you said about Nuno being fined 25 grand or whatever it was, this is the trouble. All the time these referees are so overly protected and they're always going to be the ones in the right, even though they don't give any justification for what they're doing. We're just going to keep going around in circles. And if anything, it's going to get worse. And this is the trouble with modern football. It seems to be like we're just forgetting what the purpose of football actually is. I feel like that's the way we're going right now. And the way that football's going it's scary because I think it will kill the game eventually. People will lose interest in football. And I, for one, am one of those people because after watching, and this is not just as a Brighton fan watching that, I'm talking as a football fan in general, watching not only just the officials, but the VAR and then still getting it wrong. If this is going to keep continuing, eventually people will give up with watching it. And if you were a football fan, I saw someone summed it up really well. If you weren't a football fan and you were watching football for the very first time, you could not tell you what a red card is, a yellow card is, offside is, handball is. You could not say. You could not tell you what that is.
I was going to go further than that, Ryan. I couldn't. If I was a new person watching football, I wouldn't watch it and go, wait, what do you like about this? Because watching football nowadays is just pure stop and start, just stress.
Yeah.
And like even in the Chelsea match, like the referee said to Harry Maguire, it's what Luke Shaw said. He said that the referee said, "Oh, I can't give that, otherwise there'll be so much."
That was terrible.
What did he say? There'll be so much
controversy.
It will cause so much controversy, but it was a penalty. So the fact that he done it because of the controversy after the game, that is
and 100%. And 100%, the Lee Mason incident was the big factor in his decision for the next day, for the Man United game. He's obviously thought, I don't want the same outrage, the focus on me.
Death threats, all that kind of stuff.
There's no consistency.
No, exactly right.
At all.
Yeah, there's no consistency whatsoever.
That wouldn't happen again. That wouldn't happen next week. That wouldn't happen last week. It's only because it's these one-offs, and as I said, you wouldn't be able to say what a yellow or red card is. If I was a complete neutral watching that, I've never ever watched Get Football before, and I watched that David Luiz incident where he got sent off, and that's a red card, and then I watched another one where someone's through on goal and gets hacked out. I can't remember, it was a game that he didn't get. I think it was in the West Ham game, and he didn't get sent off, and it's like, well, how is that not a sending off? And it's like, if you can't see that, how are you ever going to understand the rules of football? And as I say, we're going down a dangerous path right now of football becoming a joke because the offside rule's a joke. I don't understand the handball rule anymore. I don't understand the free kick rule anymore. And it's just two stop and start. We're going to end up like the NFL soon. We're going to be stopping and having quarters. I mean, we might as well just have our orange juice at half time.
Cheerleaders at half time.
Going back to Lee Mason, he I think obviously he made multiple errors, but I think the one error after the whole blowing the whistle thing, he should never have then made the decision before going to VAR. He shouldn't have gone, oh no, okay, it is a goal before. He should have gone to VAR and then seen if it was a goal or not. But the fact that he didn't give it, he gave it, all the Brighton players celebrated, and then he went back and said, oh no, I just checked VAR, it's not a goal. He should never have made the second decision.
He's had 3 decisions in the space of 5
minutes.
He has VAR,
that's what VAR's for. To make sure that his next decision is the right one. But
basically, essentially, what happened was he messed up by blowing the whistle in the first place. He quickly realised he fucked up, and he was like, "All right, I'll blow it again just to save himself a bit of embarrassment." And then, if anything, he actually made it 20 times worse because of what he did and his actions. And it's just not like you said, Ryan. The referee standards at the moment is in the mud. It's at an all-time low. Like, it's actually shambolic to be claimed as we're one of the best, best leagues in the world, and we've arguably got probably the worst in Europe, I'd say.
Well, there's no mistake that there's no English referees in any international competition. That's not coincidence. It's because they're incompetent. That's why, and that's been the case for so long. I mean, it's only getting worse, as we say. So something needs to change, and until people start actually making a thing of it, because we say it, we complain, and then we go on, and then it doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, as I say, they'll be protected. So, it sort of gets blown under, and then a couple of weeks will pass. There'll be more controversy, but that will then pass. It's just like something needs to happen, because it will get to a point where football loses it. It will lose it. And I put a tweet on earlier, 100%. And I said, if there was football fans in right now, sorry to ramble, but I said, if there was football fans in, the amount of abuse and stick these referees would be getting, and there would be so much more of an outrage. It would be mad. It would be riots everywhere. People would be going absolutely crazy. But because they do it on social media, oh no, I got bullied online because I made an absolutely horrendous decision in the view of the public. Why do you think you got absolutely hounded? I'm not justifying abuse, but mate, come on. If you're doing your refereeing in person, you're going to get a lot worse than what you probably received on your phone.
I've got a stat for that. Ryan. So I think Martin Tyler said it. He said that when the fans were there, every 5 games there would be. Every 5 games there would be. Oh God, let me guess right. Every 5 games there'll be 3 penalties. There'll be 3 penalties, but now every 5 games there's 4. No.
You're smashing.
I know what you're trying to say. There's a lot more penalties now. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, and I think referees are more comfortable to give the penalties because they haven't got fans to give them. Yeah, basically. But there was it was over like 7 games or 5 games, and now there's like 4.5.
I can see that.
On this topic, it's really interesting actually. So, shout out to Nathan Banier who sent this question in. He said that has VAR been more or less beneficial for Brighton Hove Albion? Now, I've got an article that was actually written literally just yesterday, and what they've done, they've tallied everything. It's really, really comprehensive as well. I've got it in front of me.
I know what you're going to say.
This is really good. So, Brighton Hove Albion, we're +2, which means essentially we've had 15 decisions overturned. We've had 1 rejected overturn, and we've had 2 leading to goals, so these are all decisions leading to goals, and we've had 2 disallowed. So basically, and I can give you they've literally listed everyone as well. So the West Brom game, we had obviously the one we just spoke about. We had Sheffield United where Lundstrom was sent off, and that went for us. Fulham, we had Adam Lallana disallowed for handball, that was against us. And then Southampton, obviously Kyle Walker-Peters, that went against us. And then we had the Liverpool game, we had it, so decision 4. So basically they've listed 4 and against. So overall, I think we're +2. So that, basically to answer Nathan's question it seems like we have actually had it in our favour, sort of 2 times more than it's been against us.
But let me answer. I've made this point before. Sorry, Ryan.
Okay, go on, Ben.
Sorry, I'll only be really quick. I've made this point before, but that's not down to us being lucky. That's down to the referees making the error the first time. So Lundstrom, for example.
Yeah, of course.
The fact that we're +2, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. The overturns, how many of these decisions were given wrong? I mean, how many of them are common knowledge that should have been overturned anyway? How many of these are just completely stupid? And that's the problem we've got.
That's where there needs to be an asterisk in all of these.
To go back to you guys is then that means the referees have made the wrong decision, but then VAR. So let's say, okay, so the referees have been bad and they made a bad decision, but then VAR has then rectified that decision. So it's not how in my view, it's not how VAR is bad. VAR is a bad machine. It's how it's being used. So the referees are incompetent and they're the ones using VAR. So not only are they firstly making the mistake, but then they're using VAR to then the people using it are basically idiots.
The trouble we've got is we've got the laws are so ridiculous now, and I think that Graham Potter said it himself. When it seems as though any contact in the box is now a foul, but if you're outside of the box, it's not. And that's what to me is really getting to me, because I don't understand what counts as a foul. And people are going to say, yeah, but Ryan, you still lost the game, but you still missed so many chances. Mate, I literally put on a thing when we had our penalty in our favour, and I said that's not a pen, because it wasn't. I'm sorry, that was never a penalty.
Yeah, the Welbeck one wasn't.
That was never a penalty, and I said that it wasn't. To be honest, I think both of them weren't penalties. To be fair, that went our way. So I'm not saying that I think that VAR is or isn't whatever it is. But my point is, it's slowing the game down so much now to the fact where, if there was fans at these grounds right now, I can guarantee you would be fed up, because I remember before all the COVID stuff and we were at the games, Ben, you'll remember, mate, the amount of times VAR screen come up and we were just sitting around waiting for something to happen. We don't know what's going on. And it's just ruining, it's killing the game. I'm sorry, it's killing the game, because we're slowing the game down so much to the point where we're analysing the tiniest of pixels of contact and saying, oh yeah, that's a foul, that's a red card. Come on. Is that enough to bring down a 6'5" person? No, it's not. I
agree with you with the Welbeck one. That wasn't a penalty. I think he won the ball and then took out Gross. But I think the first one, in the rules of handball, that was a handball. Yeah. And if that was given a handball, then why wasn't Hudson-Odoi? Why wasn't Hudson-Odoi? Because I think Hudson-Odoi is probably more blatant than UCDM's handball. But also, talking about VAR or West Brom, I feel like, Connolly's miss when he skied over the bar when everyone's saying he should have scored. I think that would have been disallowed anyway, because Lionel Messi.
I was about to say that.
It hit Mope's hand in the build-up. Yeah. And that probably would have been disallowed anyway to save him.
But no, I think just to summarise this, because we could go on about this all day, and
we have to talk about the actual game now.
Yeah. But no, just to summarise, I think there's a lot of we can argue sort of for and against VAR all the time, but I personally think, this is my personal opinion, I just think it just all whittles down just to we have a terrible standard of referees in this country, and I think that's what needs to be looked at first. And rules that need to be looked at first and foremost, and then we can then really implement VAR and how it should be used, because you see it being used properly around Europe. It's just for some reason we can't do it here, which is very strange. But yeah, I mean, again, we could go on about this for
I'll have one more thing, because I'll just say the trouble we've got, and this is to back
wrap it up for us, Ryan. Wrap it up,
because this is to back the referees in a sense, because I'm not just going to go and slander every single ref, right? But on a lot of the time, they are making the wrong decision. A lot of the time, they're making the wrong decision. But I think the amount of stupid rules that's come up with, the handball rule that's been changed 6 times this season, the offside rule that's been changed 1,000,000 times this season, etc. The referees are probably just so confused, because us fans don't have a clue what's going on.
Yes,
and until it happens, we don't know there's been a change. They'll say, "Oh yeah, this rule was changed 3 weeks ago." Was it? Since when? Why didn't you tell us that? So us fans are
it's like Potter doesn't tell us about injuries, Ryan.
Yeah, exactly, but it's on a broader scale. And we are all so confused and baffled. And I'm not just saying this about this game, and I'm not being biased. I watch so many games of football, and whether it's in my favour or whether I'm watching it as a neutral, it winds me up to the same amount, because it just kills the game. And De Bruyne said it so perfectly I think it was a couple of months ago, and he said, before 12 years, I've been playing as a footballer. He said there's been no rule changes in football, and I've loved every single second of it. But in the last 2 years, we've had probably, I think, 15 changes or something ridiculous to the rules. He said, I don't have a clue anymore. He said, if I don't have a clue, the referees don't have a clue, the managers don't have a clue, how on earth are the fans going to have a clue what's going on? Because we know a lot less about football than they do. So it's the stupid rules, it's the poor officiating too, don't get me wrong. And I also just I'm not with the VAR. I'm still not with it. You can call me old-fashioned in that sense, but I just miss the old football where I can just go to a game and not have to slow it down to 500 million frames per second to see one little bit of contact that may or may not have even happened anyway, based on what angle you look at it. It's just, I'm sorry, that's not football to me. That's not football to me. Football to me is going to the game, enjoying myself. One might go for you, one might not. It swings and roundabouts, you know? And now we're at a case of there's actually more controversy since VAR has come in than when there wasn't. And that's in a short space of time.
I think you make a good point there, Ryan. I think like the fact that all these new changes, maybe these are rules that can't actually be seen by the naked eye. Maybe that's why these referees are making all these wrong decisions because there's such fine details now. All these rules, like when you think of football, surely you think, oh, this is a really simple game. People kicking the ball around, you get the ball, you kick it in a net. But it's just so much more than that now. Like all these ridiculous rules of like all these fine margins out there that obviously referees can't see with the human eye. So and then you always have to go to the video assistant referee.
Is that right?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Why did they change it? It wasn't broken.
I thought VAR was coming in to make the right decisions, and that's what it should be, but it's not. It's to spot clear and obvious errors that aren't even clear and obvious anyway. So then we end up going around in circles of getting the wrong decisions. So the VAR isn't even there to get the right decision. So at the end of it, we're not saying, oh yeah, it's all right though because we got the right decision out of it, because that's not the case, and that's not been the case for 2 years. So either we need to, well not we, but the Premier League needs to make a decision by the end of this season and say, look, if we don't fix up and sort this out, people will lose interest, and we will eventually get to a point where fans will not bother. They will not bother.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
I think one solution, Ryan. I think one solution that could help personally. I think is what you mentioned earlier about communication, about how we're not informed. So I know it's been doing the rounds on Twitter and social media. It's, you know, the video of the Australian referee where he's basically, you can hear exactly what he's saying.
Yes,
he's got clear communication. So that for me would be one start. It's like, okay, right. So now we can hear Stockley Park, we can hear the referee, we can hear their communication between them two. Then that clears a lot of, like you just said, how we don't know half the time what's going on. So if we can hear that clear line of communication, that would help us as fans. But all right, okay, we don't agree with it, but at least we know now why he's done it. Do you know what I mean? So I think maybe that could be a solution. But you know,
I would love to hear that, but I really doubt we ever will get it.
Let's finalise it with, in the words of Bill Shankly himself, football's a simple game complicated by idiots, and that's it.
There you go, lovely, lovely. Yeah, let's move on to the game. Lovely. So,
can I sum up the game? Basically, I knew the game. I knew we had lost the game as soon as I saw Robert Sanchez wearing a hat, which is why I'm wearing a hat today. It's like,
he started blaming his hat, didn't he?
So I just realised that.
Well, no, I'm
the sun, not his hat.
I mean, I'm gonna sound like Jurgen Klopp, but I really do think the sun played a part in their goal. Like there was no, the sun was glaring down at him.
It did, to be fair,
and it was just horrific defending. I just think, you know, the West Brom players are attacking that way. They're not really facing the sun. Our players are facing the sun. I just think the sun was beaming down on Robert Sanchez. I don't even know if he was wearing his hat at that point. I think he'd taken it off.
I think it fallen off.
I just think, but as soon as I saw him in that hat, I was like, this is tragic. We're going to lose this game.
Yeah, I agree with you there, mate. I actually do. I think that did play a part in that, because the whole defending was so poor for that. It was just mixed with a lack of concentration, but it was just so poor. We shouldn't complain, but yeah, I do think the sun did have something to do with that, because after that we were pretty
Shout out Jurgen Klopp for the...
You look a bit like Jurgen Klopp today, Ben.
You do actually like Jurgen Klopp, you know.
Cheers.
Yeah, you actually do, like a younger version of Jurgen. But yeah, no, the first goal was just it was just shocking defending, wasn't it? It was just not good from our side. We just turned off a thing. But then we did what we do brilliantly, is that we dominated possession, we play well, we look pretty, we're all good, and we actually, you know, we were the better team. Let's not shy away from that. But
I think for the first 20 minutes we were shot. Well, even probably longer than that, we were shocking. Like it was, it was so hard to watch.
First 20 was shocking, but then after that we did buckle up our ideas a little bit, and especially after half time as well, we look comfortable. And then the big talking point which we've covered, obviously that happened with big old Pascal, and then Pascal started doing crossbar challenge. I thought, what are you doing? Like, what was that run up about? And then how he casually sort of just tried to, I didn't understand what he was doing.
How did he get so much power on it? With just such like, it looked like he tried to do like a dink and it just went bing off of the...
He almost tried to ping it like a pass, didn't he? That's what it was like.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Tried to spray it in the back of the net.
He was doing like a 30-yard spray, and I was like, why are you doing a 30-yard spray for a penalty? I just don't... I was so
if that was Mopé, we wouldn't have heard the end of it. It would have been all over social media. Everyone been slandering his name completely, saying, Mopé's useless, send him back to Brentford. But, you know, I'm not slating Gross, but, mate, that was so bad. Yeah. And same with Connolly.
Players miss penalties. Yeah,
Connolly.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk about anything abuse he's got, You've got to score that.
Yeah.
You have to score that. It is an open goal.
And
Open
Ryan,
goal.
Ryan, it's not-
that was the one that would have been disallowed though. Realistically,
Yeah.
Whatever, you got to score it. Well, regardless of whether it's
true.
offside or handball,
Brian,
whatever,
it's
you
not
got
the
to
first
put
time
that
he's
away.
done it though. That's what frustrates me. It's not the first time he's done
Yeah.
it. He's
Exactly.
missed like three.
Spurs,
Like
he missed it.
Spurs, he missed an absolute sitter when he's 1-on-1.
Yeah, that was pretty
And then
easy.
what was it? Yeah, and then what was the other game? I remember he'd done it once more as well this season. So it's not like, okay, fair enough, you do it once, we're like, all right, cool, like you're young, blah, blah, blah. But it's like 2 or 3 times where he's missed really key, big opportunities, and it's just frustrating. Like you said, Ryan, he has to be scoring out. There's no excuses. And I'm going to ask you a question, so let's start with you, Ben. Do you think Connolly now, well, obviously not, it's not possible now, but at the end of the season, would you keep him and just, he's obviously grown a lot, developed, etc., or would you send him out on loan? Do you think he needs that loan spell in the champ, for example?
I don't know. I was going to say, has he developed? Like, I used to rave about. I used to love him in the team, like because he actually brought some pace into the team. But it's just clearly his confidence is knocked and his ability is lacking. And you can't. I don't know. I don't think he's good enough to be able to get some confidence back whilst playing in the Premier League. I think he probably has to do it at a lower level to find his feet.
Do a Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, exactly. Bite the bullet, go in the Championship. I think that is probably, that's definitely his level. He's not Premier League level. No idea why he gave him a number 7 shirt. Who lost the bet? Like, what did he have on Potter to give him that number? Stick with the 44 that he had last season, mate. You're not fit to wear number 7. I'm sorry, but that was a really poor. I know I care about my kit numbers, but number 7 for Aaron Connolly, that's shocking.
Add anything else to that?
Oh no, I'm fully with him. I to be honest, you're lucky to even put him in Championship because I'm sorry, and I'm not slating him because I know he's got all the abuse and he's deactivated his social media. But you've got to be able to take the criticism because this seems to be the trouble with our players. I'm not talking about hate. I'm not talking about abuse. The trouble with our players is we seem to be so poor at just admitting when we're rubbish. And the thing is, Ben White always comes out. Yeah, Ben White always seems to come out and he put out an honest statement. And I think apparently Rob Sanchez did it too. I didn't get to see it though.
Yeah.
No one else did it. And what we should be seeing is the likes of Connolly, the likes of Moped, the likes of whoever was playing up front that day, I can't even remember, put out something saying, look, we have not been good enough. We know it, okay? We need to sort it out. We will sort it out. Put out something reassuring, not go quiet and deactivate your social media account because that's not helping anything. I understand you're getting abused. I understand that. But put out something to reassure these fans, look, I'm going through a bit of a bad stage, but we'll come out of it. Don't just deactivate and go quiet. Because otherwise, who's going to have faith in you in that? No one's going to have faith in you.
That reminds me, Ryan.
Need some characters.
Veltman after Palace, and I think this might be a mentality issue that some of our players have. He was like, it was almost like we're really hard done by. We didn't deserve that, and that's kind of some of the words he said after Palace. But as a professional, like you want to be saying we weren't good enough, we should do better. Not playing the victim and saying we didn't deserve that. So we should have won. Just you weren't good enough in front of goal, and move on. That's I don't know. I can't remember what he exactly said, but I took a note of it, a mental note, and thought, that's not the right mentality to have.
Ben, you talk about like this whole luck thing. We're hard done by. I really hate the narrative that we're unlucky. Like that's one thing that does really grind me. It's like we're simply not scoring or taking our good chances. That's not luck. That's not down to being unlucky. We're simply
not good enough in front of goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Enough, basically.
Exactly. So put your hands up. And admit it. Like you said, take some responsibility. And I think that's what, as fans, we get frustrated by. Is like, great, he's coming out saying, oh yeah, we'll do better next time. Great. Like, what does that actually mean? Like, put it into action. We'd rather see you do it than you saying, oh yeah, we'll do better next time. Cheers, lads. Like, it's great. Don't get me wrong.
Have a bit of fight. Have a bit of...
I think that's what we're missing. That's what we're missing.
Bit of fight. Because, deactivating your social media account after a loss, no fan's going to be like, oh yeah, okay, Connolly's going to come back firing because he's just been sulking about it instead. Like, we want you to be coming out saying, look, we're going to smash him next week. We're going to go into him. We're going to give everything we got. I'm going to train hard this week and really give it my all. I just don't see that coming from him at the moment. And I'm not putting it on the whole team because we've been good, but in front of goal, we've been so poor. So all the attackers, including midfield as well, I'm not just saying strikers and wingers, including midfield, because our goals in midfield is so light. We're not getting anything out of them, really. You'd like to be seeing the likes of Gross and McAllister scoring more goals. Even, Bissouma maybe even popping up a few times. I mean, look at Souček for West Ham. He scores goals for fun over there. So, I'd quite like us to have like when Jakob Moda come on, I thought he looked quite strong. He looked very good.
Mate, I thought he looked class. He done that unbelievable cross as well, didn't he? Yeah, he done that really good cross.
Yeah, how no one got into that as well.
Put him in with Bissouma, Gross and McAllister, I think, for Leicester, and just change it up a little bit, because we need something. We can't just go with this insanity formula where we're going to keep trying to do the same thing and hope it works next time, because
throw shit in the wall and hope something sticks. That's
it's not going to work. If we line up.
Veltman's quote, by the way.
Go on.
Sorry, Ryan. It goes, I think the first half was not our best game. Yes, fair enough. Their goal came out of nothing. We deserve 3 points. It feels like a robbery of our points. I heard some numbers, and he said some match stats, and he said they're unbelievable. Palace got away with it. And then, people were all saying, like,
well done,
that's not
mate.
the mentality you should have. They got away with nothing. It's just because we failed to do our job, right?
Yeah, facts. Like, you can't keep blaming, we're unlucky. Like, that's just terrible narrative to have.
Yeah.
Just like Ryan said, take some fucking responsibility and actually admit, we're not being good enough in front of goal. That is simple. And what are you going to do to rectify that? Well, put it in the back of the net. How about that? How about you, instead of writing your captions, how about you go down do some more training in front of goal? How about that?
That's what I think on the whole. That's why I think on the whole Connolly situation, and applies for any other player that wants to then take a social media break. Get off your phone and start scoring some goals. Then the fans will love you again. That's all it's going to take. Just show a bit of fight. As I said about Mikhail Smith and Sakiri and etc., you show a bit of something about them. They may not be the best players in the world, but at least they care. That's all you want. You want someone to look interested. And mate, for me, going into Leicester, change it up, because it's clearly not working. And if I see Mopé, Trossard, etc. in front again, and I'm just like, we're just going to be the same stuff. It's just going to be the same stuff.
I want Mopé and Trossard to be dropped.
Well.
Connolly as well.
I think Mopé dropped. I'd stick with Trossard. I think he's really. I think he's good. I just think Mopé are two strikers. The strikers need to swap.
No,
I think Trossard should stay.
I think we need to get rid of Trossard.
He's not going to score, is it? That's the thing. He's not going to score.
No, but he's quite selfish as well. Like, I know, don't get me wrong, his form's definitely. When I had that rant about him, like, since then his form's actually picked up, and admittedly, like, he's actually done well, right? True. But I still think he sometimes he's selfish, and he doesn't make the right. Same with Mopé, they don't make the right decisions when they need to sometimes, and I feel like that's what's letting them down at the moment. It's like they're either not laying it off or passing it, or they're shooting in the wrong positions. Like, I think there was an article actually I read. It was a really good article. He did he's an analyst. I can't even say the word. He analyses analytics.
I can't even say
analysis. Analyst.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't say it. He's an analyst, that's it. For Tottenham, he's an analyst for Tottenham, but he basically went out his way to do an analysis on Brighton and why we can't score. And he made a really good point about how basically Mopé doesn't shoot in the right positions, and he also sometimes makes the wrong decisions in the sense where he shoots. And I think that was like spot on for me. It's like he doesn't do it in the right positions, and he makes the wrong decisions a lot, and that's what frustrates me with him. I think he just needs a bit of time out the team to maybe work on these things. Do a bit of extra in training on when to shoot, when not to shoot, when to pass, those kind of things. Again, I'm no expert, but surely if these things aren't working for you, then maybe you have to do something to change it. Like,
I couldn't tell you who our attacking coaches are. Like, I don't know, like who
get Bobby Z in, get Bobby Zamora in.
Get Bobby Zamora
get someone
and
that's a decent one-touch
finisher.
Yeah, literally.
I don't know. It felt from the outside. It feels like it would be really embarrassing for Potter to go, look, boys, we're shit in front of goal. We're just gonna all like training. We're just gonna concentrate on shooting, because like surely that should be like second nature. You know how to shoot, but that's what I don't get about like strikers, like practicing their finishing. How, other than learning new techniques, how much more can you improve? Surely it's just like a natural instinct.
But I suppose it's a repetitive thing, isn't it? Like you're repeating the same motion, so it become like you said, becomes natural to you. I suppose that's the only. Yeah, I suppose that's the thing. Yeah, to make it.
But I feel like teaching someone how to defend and defending as a unit, that makes more sense, and you can learn new things teaching someone how to defend. Whereas I think, for some reason, I just feel like a striker, you just have that natural instinct of how to.
You can either score goals or you can't.
Can we talk about Glenn Murray? Because, well, I honestly, I think we mentioned it even like a couple months ago, saying about how Glenn Murray, we laughed at it, saying Glenn Murray would fix our issues in front of goal. But genuinely, by looking at all the chances that we create, how many of them are one-touch finishes? You can't, other than like Welbeck's goal against Villa away, when was the last time we had a ball over the top and they keep like one of our players with one-on-one, or our player uses pace to beat a defender and go one on one with the keeper and put it round.
Aaron Connolly,
all of our chances, Spurs like last season, all of our chances are coming from one-touch finishes inside the box where Glenn Murray would fucking eat them up. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're right. I mean, if we had Murray, mate, just stick him up there and just say, look, don't come any further back than the centre D. The centre D is the furthest back you're allowed, so just save all your energy for getting into the box. That's it. That's all you got to do. We just want you there because I guarantee you, give Murray the ball and he'll score. Simple as that. And
people saying that he's not mobile enough.
Yeah, that's my big issue.
No, but
who cares?
We don't need a mobile striker. Like I said, it goes again. When have we ever seen Mope use his pace, if he has any? Like he's always just getting the ball into him, holding it up. Why is a small 5'8" striker being the player that holds it up for us?
Mate, our team is crying out for a target man. I've always been target man FC. I love target men as a position, and I think, mate, if Murray was there, I always stick by the same point. If Murray played for any team in the world, he'd score you goals. If he had the service, he'd deliver. Simple as that. And the only trouble is he's not going to compete with the legs. That's the only trouble he's got. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is anymore.
What do you mean?
We certainly haven't got.
What do you mean? He plays 90 minutes for Forest. Like, what do you mean? He won't compete?
I mean, the Premier League's a different level, though, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
I think Championship is very intense.
No,
it is intense. It is intense. But I'm saying you've got to go and beat the likes of Ruben Diaz every week, rather as opposed to whoever Barnsley's centre half is.
Alfie Mawson.
Exactly. Yeah. So you know what I mean? He's got to be competing against high level.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, you can't compare the champ to the Premier League, unfortunately. That's my biggest thing on Murray is like if we did bring him back or whatever, like he just doesn't, for me, hasn't got the legs anymore, unfortunately. Like, I get what you're saying, Ben. Like, he will, if he's in the right position, he will score the goals. But my doubt is, will he get himself now in those positions? That's my thing. Like, in the Premier League,
as a club, we've had good 3 years to plan this replacement for Glenn. We've known that he's coming towards the end of his career. He was still banging 10, 15 goals every season. Potter came in, didn't want him because he wants a mobile striker to fit his philosophy. But his philosophy almost suits a Glenn Murray striker more than it does a Connolly or Mope, without a doubt. Yeah. Because we're creating all these chances and trying to play the Man City way of tapping it around and then squaring it across the box. It's not working with Connolly and Mope because they're not one-touch finishers and they never will be unless you really drum it into them. So, that's going to take a long time as well. And you've also got to have, as you say, the natural instinct. We don't have anyone with a natural instinct. I don't know what the likes of... I mean, Tao's record isn't exactly great. I don't know what Zakiri can be. Because,
he's not prolific.
Yeah, I don't know what Zakiri's record can be because... just give him a go, give him, and I'm not saying give him a go for one game and take him out again. I'm saying give him a run of games, 4, 5, 6 games where he can have time to gel in that team, and fans won't just go, "Oh, he's rubbish because he's played 60 minutes." That's not how it works. They've got to have time. So give him time, give him a bit of a run, and see how he goes. Because we've got nothing to lose now, and I can't stress that enough. We've got nothing to lose. Nothing will be any worse than 65 shots and 1 goal. You can't get worse than that. So before anyone comes to me and says, "Oh yeah, but you're just talking about Zakiri because you like him," no, I'm just saying we ain't got a choice, mate. We've not got a single choice as to who we have. Andone. Andone.
Andone, is he the saviour? Could he be?
No.
I saw someone posted someone posted his goal against Watford when he was playing up front with Mope.
That was like 2 years ago.
And it was a one-touch finish, bottom corner.
Yeah, it was a good goal.
It's a great goal. But
he's had a major injury though since, Ben. He's had a major injury since.
Yeah, for about 2 years.
It might take time. Yeah. It'll take time. But also, I always say it every episode, why do we cross the ball into the box when we've got small strikers? None of them are ever going to win a header. I watched City, obviously their past 2 City games. Bernardo Silva banging in a couple headers. Raheem Sterling scored a header against Arsenal, beat Rob Holding in the air. So maybe that does put my point of we should be crossing the ball into small people to shame, but realistically, maybe it does work with small players.
Sterling and Aaron Connolly,
different quality. I know, but I think
so. Adam Lallana is a bit staggering to say the least.
But I think if we said to Neil Mope and Sterling to both jump up, they probably both reach the same height because they're similar height. Surely,
I don't know.
I feel like maybe they can do it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it can be done, but for us, it doesn't work.
You can't bank on it though.
And then final thing on the West Brom game. So the final thing, obviously, we've got to talk about Danny Welbeck missing the penalty. Now, I've got a couple of questions for you, boys. So bear with me, all right? There's like 2 or 3 different questions I want to ask you. So the first, So the first one, okay. So the first one is, actually, I want to give you a fact. Actually, first of all, Danny Welbeck hasn't taken a penalty since the 2017-18 season until West Brom. So
why do we put him on there?
So that's what I was going to ask you. Why have we done that? Why do you think? I know, obviously, I get it. Gross missed his penalty. I get it, and you want to switch up maybe. But surely
he's third best. How alarming is that? How scary is that? He's third best.
Yeah,
third best. He hasn't taken a penalty in 3 years. Oh my god.
But surely,
the German, one of our German players missed a penalty. That was it was going to go out.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah.
After Sanchez wearing his hat, a German missed a penalty. It was not our day.
Yeah. As soon as he missed that, we knew that was the end. But yeah, so my question is, first of all, would you? Okay, so let's start with you, Ryan. Would you have put Gross back on the penalties because you know he's your best penalty taker? Would you give him another go just because he missed one? That doesn't mean he's necessarily going to miss again.
I don't know, because with Gross, right? I said it before he even took it. I said, "Is Gross taking this?" And me and my dad were saying it, and I said, the thing is with Gross, yes, he's got a good record because he scored like nearly every time, but he never scores convincing penalties, in my opinion. I mean, the one that comes to mind is the Man United one where it hits De Gea's leg and nearly goes over the bar.
Even the one against Liverpool.
Yeah, that was really sketchy.
Literally skimmed Alisson's legs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Tottenham one where Lloris got a huge hand on it, but he didn't get enough on it. So it's like, he's not been ever convincing on the penalty spot. So who else have we got? I mean, Maupay.
Yeah, I was just about to say
who else? 5, I think. So that's he's
who
not
else
good.
do you put in front of it?
Connolly, I wouldn't even want to imagine. I'm sorry, Aaron, but I would never have you on a penalty. Dunk Bissouma, I don't know, because there's surely
Donkey,
someone
maybe.
better than Welbeck to be the next person to take a penalty.
Lallana, surely.
Lallana.
I was going to say
Was
Donkey,
he on the
yeah.
pitch? He was on the pitch. Was Lallana on the pitch though?
Penalty taker, isn't it? I mean, if
he
that's
takes
not
fucking
really
free
crying
kicks,
out
Ryan,
for
and
it.
I think he takes our free kicks. That's tragic enough, mate. He's not damn
but he scores it as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
And then,
I'm not saying.
and then my
Alex,
second
the centre
question.
back, Chelsea.
And then my second part of my question was, how the hell do you take a penalty that bad? Well, no, actually, it wasn't that bad. But then for him to forget the rules that you can't hit it after being the penalty taker.
Who knew that rule? Sorry, who knew that rule?
To be fair, yeah. Yeah.
That
But
is
I think
mental.
it's the first time.
Why is that a rule?
Yeah, that was mad, to be fair.
Go on, Ben.
Because I've never actually seen it been done. I think it's the first time ever that I think they said it. The squawker said the stat. It was the first time ever in a Premier League game that a team has missed by the woodwork from penalties, I think. So yeah, we're breaking records once again. Brighton Hove Albion,
2 pens,
record breakers. Not in the right way, because that's just what we do.
Shout out Lee Mason. Shout out Lee Mason. The one thing he done right, I respect. He actually he remembered the actual rule that if he
he did his job for once.
Like the fact, how did he remember that? But he forgot how to, referee.
That's actually nuts.
Kick.
Actually, that's a very good point. True. Actually, he forgot to be a referee, but he remembers the most obscure rule in the Premier League rule book. Fair play, Lee Mason, mate. But yeah, there you go. That's the summary of the West Brom game. The less said about it, well, we've said a lot about it, but the less said about it, the better. Because it was just another day, same old. Like it was just Groundhog Day. It's just Groundhog Day every day. Every match day is the same.
I think it's 1 win in 6 of the last 4 years, I believe, over the week, right? And that includes 2 losses to Palace. That game against West Brom, where there's been so much controversy, it's a joke. And it also includes the Newcastle game in the Championship, where they scored 2 goals in 10 minutes in a top-of-the-table clash. And it was that Mo Diame goal that flicked over Stockdale's head.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's all on my birthday.
That was one of the worst goals I've ever seen.
All on my birthday week, all of those moments. Mate. Exactly.
Even my mum said, Ryan, my mum said your birthday's cursed, mate. Like,
it's cursed. It's true.
It's got to be true.
I think it's confirmed.
I'm sorry because people were DMing me saying, "Oh, don't be negative," or saying like, "I'm taking it personally." I'm not. I'm just joking about it, right? I'm not taking it personally. So I'm not saying.
I don't think you actually think it's a curse.
It's just actually laughable. No, but it is a curse. I genuinely think it is a curse. I genuinely think it is. But I'm not taking it like, oh, it's all deep. But yeah, it's just like, mate, that is actually outrageous as to how bad we are on my birthday. Yeah,
it's a bit like star sign. The astrology merchants out there. Oh, but I'm a Sagittarius, so my personality's different. Well, no, you're just a prick. So How about don't blame your astrology on that? But no. So yeah, look, it was a day to forget. Sort of same old stuff, really. When it just can't score, can't take our chances. But then we also had a bit of misfortune as well.
It is scary.
Yeah, but you know,
Actually, is scary.
You know, let's go on to Leicester game, and we actually, before we go on to Leicester game, actually, we put out some questions to Instagram, and we've answered a couple actually, sort of inadvertently without knowing. We've actually answered a few, but let's go through them quickly. We've only got a couple to go through. So we'll start off with them. Let's start with you, Ryan. Okay. What do you think our best strike partnership is?
What Duncan Webster? You reckon? They'll do a job.
They'll do a job. Yeah.
Who's our best strike partnership? I don't have a clue who our best strike partnership is. And if that doesn't
Graham Potter doesn't know, how the fuck are we meant to know?
Maybe. I don't know. God knows. To be honest, who's our best strikers?
Yeah.
Ben, who's our best strikers?
Go on, Ben.
Mate, who would you tell you?
Oh, it's not that. It's who would you partner, Ryan? Who would you partner? Let's say you play two up top. Who would you partner two up top with? Who would you go for?
Well, against Leicester, I'd say.
Yeah, against Leicester. Yeah.
I'd go Sakiri, and I'd probably keep Mope just because he created a lot of chances. I mean, he still did a lot off the ball. I'd still give it to Mope and Sakiri. I wouldn't have Connolly anywhere near it or Welbeck anywhere near the team either. I'd have Sakiri and Mope. Just change it. Why not? We've got nothing to lose. Put Moda in midfield as well. I'd quite like to see him and Bissouma together. Yeah. And have Gross and Alexis McAllister, and then just make up your back five. So yeah, that's how I'd do it.
Nice, Ben.
What, my strike partnership?
Yeah, who do you have up top?
Yeah, I used to say Mope and Welbeck, but I don't know. It just hasn't been. I'll probably stick with them. I don't know. Yeah. Obviously, that's what we've seen though, Ryan. You can't say let's play. Or see, people have been saying let's play Zakiri and Tao. That's probably our best partnership. They haven't played together, so how do we know what they'll be like together? It's worth trying, but from what we've seen, out of comparing it with Mope, Connolly, Welbeck and Connolly, I prefer the little dynamic they have.
Yeah,
so
same.
I'd probably say Neil Mope and Welbeck. But I also, on the striker thing, I saw someone made quite a good point. Since we sold Ajoa, have we ever replaced him properly?
We replaced him again with someone we tried to replace him for. We replaced Murray with Ujoa when we tried to replace Murray with Ujoa. So there you go.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point.
And then we still never have ever replaced Ashley Barnes. It never has happened. We've never done it.
Yeah.
Selling Ashley Barnes was the biggest mistake we've ever done.
Yeah. 100%. I'd have him all day long right now. Like, he can actually finish
for 700 grand as well. Why do we let him go for 700 grand? But I must admit saying that, I do think, I'm not saying Mope is as good as him, but I'm thinking, he's not as lethal, but I think Mope will be a bit of an Ashley Barnes in the club because everyone just loves to get on his back, when in reality he's still got a very similar record to I think how Murray had in his first 2 seasons. So he's not bad. He just struggles on his own, I think, and that's been the case for the last 2 years, in my opinion. Yeah. He's still struggling on his own, and until they recognise that, give it Zakiri or Welbeck, whoever you give it to, someone needs to step up and be his partner, because I think he's the one you want to build around. You don't want to build around Connolly or Welbeck, really. So I'd give it to him.
Yeah, no, and for what it's worth, I'd go with you, Ben. I'd like to see Danny Welbeck, Mope. Now, don't get me wrong, I've always been a big, you know me. I've always been a big Danny Welbeck sort of hater, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I've always been a very big skeptic of Welbeck, but like Ben said, I do like that sort of partnership between the little and large kind of combo. So yeah, if it was me, I'd go with those two, Welbeck and him. So next question. Okay, so let's just talk about transfers, because we've got 2 from here. George J. Bullen and Rudy544. They basically said, who would we bring in and who would we take out in the summer transfer window? So let's try and keep it straight to the point. Let's go for it. Ben, you start us off. Oh, Ben? Ben, you're on mute, mate.
Ben.
Sorry, who would we sell and who would we sign?
Yeah, who do we sign and who would we sell?
Chris Kamara moment, right?
I mean, yeah, it was. Let's. I'll cash in on Davy Proper. I can't see him getting in the team.
Really?
Yeah, true.
I don't know. Go on.
Whilst we can. He's not, realistically, we've got too many people ahead of him now. I think we need to cash in on him whilst he's still valuable, I suppose. Yeah, who would we sign realistically? I think Tammy Abraham. I've seen his name come around. Would he would he drop down to our level? That's quite
He's on like
embarrassing
over
thing.
£100 a week though. That's the only trouble. I think he's on 150k.
Is he though?
Yeah.
Is he actually?
I don't know. But I think he's on 150k. But
Well, we're paying a hype man in Adam Lallana 90k a week, so we might as well actually buy an actual striker with that kind of wages.
You're not wrong though.
Sorry, I appreciate he's probably great in the dressing room. He's great in the dressing room. I'm sure he is. Great experience, but he seems to be almost like a assistant manager on the pitch. Like it's quite weird, like a player manager or player coach. Because his posts are very similar. It's like the boys dug in. He's almost like even if he doesn't play, he talks about the game.
He's the vocal
Whereas,
side
if a normal player doesn't play, he's not going to say anything about it. But I feel like Lallana's kind of
he's getting to that stage of his career, I think, isn't he? So
isn't he? Paying 90 a week for that kind of role is a bit of a
it's a very expensive coach. Ryan?
To be honest, Proper could go. I wouldn't mind too much. Sorry to say it, but I'd get rid of Ali. He's probably
I was going to say, I forgot about that.
He's not going to get a chance now, and I don't think he's ready or got it anymore. I'd get rid of quite a lot, mate. To be honest, I'd probably bin all of them off. I'd get rid of Connolly.
Get rid of the whole team.
Don't renew Welbeck's contract. I think Bissouma's going to go.
Yeah, he's got it in season, isn't he?
Yeah, let Bissouma go because he's going to go. And to be fair, he hasn't actually been that great recently. So if we can bag 50 mil for him, I'll take it.
We should talk about that.
I'd get rid of all of them. And then to come in, I mean, I think to be fair, Brentford have been slipping up a bit. Apparently, I've heard they're not doing as well. So you never know if they don't come up. I'd love to try and snatch Ivan Toney off them. It'd come at a price, but I think it'd be worth it. Or as you say, Tammy, but he's not a prolific goal scorer by any means, but he does offer you something up front, probably better than what we've got based on his championship career. And here and there with Chelsea, he's always in the right positions. He seems to be. So he's who I'd bring in. But what do I know? I don't think that's the recruitment policy that we have. To be fair, so mate, we'll probably sign some random I don't even know Norwegian under 20 who I've never heard of in my life. But hopefully ends up more like Haaland, and again he turns into the next Haaland. That'd be all right. But
more Haaland instead of Gyökeres, whatever his name is.
Gyökeres is not it either.
Yeah, he's not doing it. But yeah, so who I'd go for? I'd go for out. I'll definitely I'd have to agree with some of the ones you mentioned. So Jahan Bash, I'd get rid of. Matty Ryan, I'd get rid of on a permanent. I'd get rid of him.
I think he's already gone. His obligation.
Gone. Oh, is he thinking to sign?
No, I'm just saying he probably is gone.
I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure
coming back.
Yeah, he's not coming back. As I say, I don't think he's going to be welcomed back with open arms by anyone. So, he's as good as gone. And I'm pretty sure I've heard it's a done deal, like an obligation. So, Arsenal don't have much of a choice whether he's good or not. So, a bit like the knockout deal for them. So, he's gone.
You're stuck with him. You're stuck with him. Yeah. Well, no, basically, I'll just get rid of all the Deadwood. So, Dan Burn, see you later, mate. Get out of the club. Just basically anyone who's just not good enough.
Deadwood, though. For Potter, Dan Burn is not Deadwood because he uses him every other.
Yeah, true.
He's
but Clark will be his. Clark will be his, I think.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And then I would then my ins would be a left wing back. So maybe, and I know he got injured recently, but like a Rico Henry, that's what I'd want to see us because I know we were linked with him at the beginning of the season, and I'd like to see like basically a natural left wing back.
Have a little Brentford raid.
Yeah, because obviously March. I know obviously March. Don't get me wrong, March is the number one because he was incredible before he got injured. But just to have that good backup, Rico Henry would be perfect, I think. And I don't know if he'd like to be second choice, but
Kaboflik. We got Kaboflik.
But he's not. Isn't he right-footed though?
Depends whether he's ready.
Like a natural.
He's played both. Yeah, he's ambidextrous, whatever it is. That's the. I've really butchered that name. What is it?
Ambidextrous. No, that's right. Ambidextrous. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Fair play.
Is it? I've never even heard that word before.
Ambidextrous. Yeah. No. But yeah, there you go. Right, so that's our ins and outs. And then final question. This is a really good one, actually. Is attractive football?
Can you stop the podcast?
Yeah, can you stop the podcast? Is attractive football better than defending and getting results? Now, obviously, with Palace, because we posed the question to Palace, really, didn't we? Kind of similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suppose this is a sort of one back at us. Ryan, do you want to kick us off? Do you think it's better to get results than playing attractive football?
Of course, it's better to get results, but it's not like we're playing pretty football and not creating high quality chances. If we were just tapping it around midfield and not doing anything with it for 90 minutes, but we had 95 possession and we had, 2 shots, then I'd say fair enough. It's just pretty football with no end product. But, we've got end product, but it's not very good. It's as simple as that, really. So we're creating the chances, but we're just giving it to absolute donkeys, and then we're just skying it or blasting it over. It's just like, well, that's never going to work. So I think with your question, it's obviously better to get results, but one, I don't think we have a squad fit for that. I think our squad is fit for the attractive football to play it around. I don't think we have big units anymore to just stick a foot in and really go for it. And two, I wouldn't say it's just pretty football with nothing. It's pretty football with rubbish attackers. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's not like we're missing the chances. We're not creating them. So I'd still say we got to stick with it.
100%. Believe. Ben?
No, what Ryan said, there's no point in me saying exactly the same thing as Ryan's
fair enough.
Yeah.
No, mate, fair play. And then
actually, I'll go back on that. Bring Allardyce in. Yeah, bring Allardyce in.
No, thank you.
Really solid.
I agree with everything Ryan
might
said.
Get a
but
few
just
matches fixed for us, to be fair. If we got a big Sam in, might get a few brown envelopes going, and never know.
True.
Well, he's never been relegated, so
he must have had money on that game against
before
us.
They get relegated.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He leaves. He does what Neil. Do you know what he done that recently? Neil Lennon. Celtic were just about to lose the league, and they play Rangers in 2 games' time. So basically, they're gonna if they get a point or more, they win the league that game against Celtic. And he's like, fuck that. I'm not having that on my record. He's like, see ya. Bye.
Losing the league in March, Scottish football for you, absolute waste of time.
Oh mate, shambles.
Like, when I see stuff like that, when I see stuff like Celtic nearly going to do 10 in a row. And then you see Rangers come back and they ruin the 10 in a row. Not only that, Rangers can win the league against Celtic when they play Celtic.
Yeah, that's
when I see stuff like that, I feel like surely this is all scripted. Like that is the beauty of our game. Like, stuff like that happens so much. Scottish football.
Scottish football is awful.
Rubbish.
I love the Old Firm derby. Everything under that is just it's pointless.
I agree. Watch it that much, to be fair.
But just to go back to the original question, because we're going on to Scottish football now. But just go back to the original question: is attractive football better than defending, getting results? Of course. So for me, my answer is of course. You getting results is it's a business result game. We're in it to win points and to win the league. Essentially, that's what we all strive to do. But I would not want to. I personally, it's like comparing it to Chris Hughton times. We all moaned about, Chris Hughton's so negative. We play really terrible football, but we survived. We got results. And we all complained then. So now we've got to look at it as well.
We didn't really survive, did we? We only survived because of other teams. Like first season was convincing.
3 other teams were worse than us.
Second season was far from it. I mean, we only survived because Cardiff were absolutely rubbish, and I mean rubbish. Yeah. So I mean, that's the only reason we stayed up. How we didn't get relegated 18-19 is beyond me, because we were terrible. Seriously,
when we lost 5-0 at home or whatever it was to Bournemouth, and then literally 3 days later lost 2-0 at home to Cardiff, I was sat there. I was like, "This is it. We are done." Out here.
And we got smashed like 3-1 to Burnley as well. We were rubbish.
Yeah.
People forget that.
Mate, but then I agree with you, Ryan. I do. But then you can argue, well, at the moment, the way we're going right now, we're heading towards relegation, but we're playing amazing football and we're looking really good. So it's like a two-sided thing. It's like, right, we weren't, Hughton kept us up under, not the best football, not most attractive, but Potter's doing a really good job of making us look good, and we're getting all these plaudits, we're playing lovely football, but we're still losing games and we're still not scoring goals. So it's like,
the difference is there's more of like an end goal with it. It's not hopeless.
No, true.
I think the games, the final, 6 months under Hughton was hopeless, in my opinion. And I don't like to slander him because he was just, an absolute icon. But, them last 6 months, it was just hopeless. I didn't ever go into a game thinking we were going to win. I didn't even go into it thinking we were going to draw. I was just thinking we're going to literally set up to hope for a 0-0. And if we don't get it, we will lose because we're not going to go score. So, under Potter, you're thinking we're going to go into this game, we're going to control the game, we're going to have 25 shots, we're going to completely roast them, but we're not going to score because we've got rubbish attackers. If we had Murray,
the difference is with Potter.
Sorry,
I was going to say the difference is with Potter to Hughton. There's kind of light at the end of the tunnel with Potter, whereas with Hughton there was no signs of it ever changing and us progressing. Whereas with Potter, like we're so, I say it almost every week, so close to being a good club. we're literally one strike away from being a good club.
Yeah. No, a very good point.
And midfielder.
Yeah.
And a goal scoring midfielder. Get a good little Lampard.
Mate, just get them all in. Just get all the scorers. Just get all the scorers in. Any kind of scorer, just get them in. Hopefully. Yeah. But no, going on to Leicester then. Let's wrap it up. So going on to Leicester game. Right. Let's start off with Yaka big going into the team. Would you? I personally would love to see that because I thought he looked really, really bright. And would you drop Basuma, Ryan? Let's start with those two questions. Moda in, Basuma out, or do you think it's just a minor blip?
He's had 2 bad games. I don't think he's worth dropping because we know how good he is. If we went
he's
and
still
dropped,
good.
Yeah, if we went and dropped Basuma, I think
we
it
can't
would
be
be a bit of a
reactionary.
stupid decision. He's had, let's face it, basically the whole season of consistent, very, very good games. So, yeah, he's had 2 poor ones and he hasn't really been slated for it probably as much as he should have been because he was really bad the last 2 games. But I have more faith in him turning that around. But maybe the little fear you might have is his head getting turned by the likes of Arsenal, by the likes of Liverpool who are interested in him. Maybe it is.
Style.
I mean,
you really turned the head.
No, I don't know much about. I've never watched him in my life, but yeah, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him if it was, because at the end of the day, if you're playing for Brighton, if Liverpool are interested in you, of course you're going to get interested by that. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But at the same time, we still want him to give 100%. But no, I wouldn't drop him. I think we still got to keep him in there. But I'd like to see Moda in there. I don't really know what I'd do, mate, to be honest, because I don't understand what's going on anymore. I don't have a reason. It just seems to be.
Well, right, it's injury FC. We're playing injury FC, so we've actually got a chance. We've got a chance.
Yeah,
I mean, have a look. They've got 8. They've got 8 first-team injuries. Madison,
I heard this.
Fofana, a great centre back. Perez, Dennis Pratt, who doesn't really start. Morgan doesn't start. Harvey Barnes obviously got injured in the recent game. James Justin and Johnny Evans. There's some pretty big names that they're missing. So if there's a time to beat Leicester, now is the time.
Yeah.
And you said, Ryan, I think a few days ago. Well, you're going to say we do beat teams when we're not expected to. We have these games where we should win, we don't, and then we pick up the points where we shouldn't do, and it kind of levels itself out a bit. I'm praying that we do that.
Now that whole birthday curse is over, I've got my confidence back, and I think, why not? I think we could go beat Leicester. And it sounds stupid, and it probably does, but I wouldn't be surprised to see us go and beat them. I mean, I know they've got a lot out, but
there isn't a better time. There isn't a better time to play them. Yeah, no, 100%.
I actually put a tweet on to going back to the relegation conversation, as that rhymed, relegation conversation. And I said, I think I summed it up in this quite well, if I do say so myself. And I said, the reality of relegation is so likely but unlikely that it's so outrageously, unrealistically realistic. Do you know what I mean? So if something doesn't change quickly... I do know what you mean,
but yes.
If it doesn't change quickly, it'll be too late. So it could possibly be the unluckiest and harshest relegation ever. But if you don't take your chances, then you don't deserve anything. Yeah. But if you had to crunch numbers and find out the likelihood of relegation purely based off stats, relegation would be so remotely unlikely that it wouldn't even be worth thinking about. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's facts. Bruh. It's facts. You spat some big facts there. No, it's true. Like
just flexing the fact I got
situation. That was like a Dave rap, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Flexing the fact I got A's in English. That was literally it.
That was literally spot on. Yeah, the Dave comparison. But no, I think that 100%. Like it's so true. Like we wouldn't if you looked at it in different through different lenses, like so opposition fans have a way of looking at us, we have a way of looking at ourselves, and like they just don't match up. Like people think
it's a
that
weird
we're like this
spectrum.
It's a very strange situation. We're
it's
in a
like
very
a parallel
weird
universe. In a parallel universe, we're top of the league, but in another universe, we're rock bottom. It's really strange. It's really strange.
100%. I couldn't put it better myself.
In a parallel universe, we've gone a whole season without scoring a goal, but we've had 100 chances a game or something like that.
But no, I'm confident, Ryan. I'm confident as well. I genuinely think if there's any time to play Leicester, I think it's definitely now with all the injuries they got, and they're not looking. Of course, I know it goes without saying, but they're not looking the same team they were a month ago or a couple of months ago when they were flying high. And I just think like now, you got
knocked out Europa League by Slavia Prague and then beaten by Arsenal 3-1 at home.
And also
they had a few decent minutes, like first 5 minutes they were good, and then after that they were Shambles.
And also, a
Could be
big
good.
pointer is, surely we wanted. Do you remember how bad we were against them last time around? We lost 3-0. Surely the players
we
are
got
thinking in their heads.
smashed.
We've got to rewrite those errors. Like, that was a terrible game. Like, I remember watching that game and I was like, what the hell? Like, this is awful.
It was Madison
so
who tore
poor
us
that
apart,
day.
wasn't it?
Yeah, Madison scored, and I
ran
think who else
ragged.
scored?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, did he
And
score
Justin.
2 that day?
Vardy got one.
Oh, Vardy, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's when
Madison
Dan
got
Burn
2.
got done by
Vardy
Justin,
got
didn't he?
one.
Like
But the-
3 times. Justin done Burn,
Yeah.
didn't he? Like loads of times
Justin
down that
and
wing.
Madison just tore him apart completely.
Yeah, tore us apart.
Yeah. But the only thing is...
Yeah, like you said, Mers, we've played Leicester twice very recently, and so surely it's fresh in their minds how to play against Leicester.
Yeah, and
I'd like to
FA
see,
Cup.
I'd like to see Zakiri have a decent. I'd like to see Zakiri have the kind of performance he had against Leicester.
Yeah,
in the
he
FA
played
Cup.
really
He
well
was
against
one of our
Leicester.
better players that day.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to be
I
fair,
forgot about the FA Cup as well, actually.
downer on that, the only downer on that, it's not sounding negative, but the only thing is, Vardy is still on the football pitch, and all the time Jamie Vardy's on the football pitch. Although his record
very
isn't, the best of late, as long as Vardy's on the pitch, there's a goal. There's a goal always. You need to always be on your
And
toes because he
Tielemans
only needs
as
a
well.
touch. Yeah, he only needs a touch and he'll
Tielemans,
score.
yeah.
He literally all he needs. I think he only had like 3
No,
touches.
that's very true.
No, he had 10 touches, wasn't it? 10 touches in our game in the first half, and he'd scored 2 goals. Sorry, he scored 1 goal and got 2 assists. So if that doesn't show how good that man actually is,
And then
I don't know
in the
what
FA
does.
Cup game though, they only had 3 touches in our box in the first half. So
Yeah.
there's progress. Hopefully, this next end another
True.
0.
Yeah.
And also, boys,
Yeah, we'll
another
see.
big factor as well. Another big factor in this game as well is that Burnley play Leicester on Wednesday. So they play,
Is it?
so they play Burnley away,
Oh,
which is
yeah,
a big
yeah.
game, and then they play us on the weekend. So we've got a free week. We've got like a free week up until that game. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's gonna, because we talked about it, didn't we, ahead of the Palace game? We were like, oh, we don't have a midweek game, and I think it actually hindered us. So is it going to hinder us again?
It did.
I don't know. Is it? Do we want that consistent games just to like have one midweek then play again Saturday? I don't know. Is it? I don't see.
I normally
But
hear,
yeah,
I know we said
be
it
a
before,
factor.
but we normally hear professionals say that they'd rather play a game as soon as possible to get that right their wrongs in the previous one. And I think, we've got time to reflect on the shambolic display in front of goal we had in West Brom, and hopefully we'll score 3 against Leicester.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a
We
good one,
won't,
wouldn't it?
we won't, but hopefully.
Scoring 3. When was the last time that
But yeah.
happened? But yeah,
But no, but
I've got
also as well, the
confidence.
final
I've got
thing.
confidence.
No, the final
Go on,
thing for me on the Leicester game is that also, I know we mentioned it a few times, but the fact that we play so much better against pressing teams that will go at us. So, we expect Leicester to be more attacking. So, like, West Brom sat back, Crystal Palace sat back, hit us on the counter,
Palace
fair
sat
play.
back.
Fair play. They had a plan and they stuck to it. Fair play to them. But Leicester, they're much more attacking, and I think that's where we come out of our shell and we play better. So that's a big bonus for me, is we're playing a team that actually isn't Brexit football. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's all positives. But yeah, there you go,
Yeah,
boys.
do you know what? I'm going to go with it because you know how I went on that positive run and we beat Leeds, we beat Leicester.
Yeah, what happened to
sorry,
that?
not Leicester, we
What
beat
happened to that,
Liverpool,
Ryan?
we beat Tottenham.
As soon as you stopped doing it, we didn't get the results.
It was the birthday curse, mate. That's what happened.
It was the
I think
birthday week.
curse. It was,
Yeah,
the birthday
it
curse.
knocked it out of me
Birthday
completely
curse.
because I was just thinking it's going to hit me again, and it did. So do you know what? We're out of the birthday. It's over now. Yeah, it's March. No longer the end of Feb. We're going to think about it. We're going to think, right, Leicester. I think we've got Chelsea this month as well. We've got someone tough. So we've got a tough run.
got a tough
but
run,
look, I actually feel good.
I think it's Leicester, Southampton, Newcastle. So we got some games where we could pick up points. Could.
Oh yeah, we need
Maybe
to
I'm
right the
thinking
wrongs
of
of the
another
Carl
time
Walker Peters incident as well, because that was
Either
really
way,
bad.
positivity this time. We're out of the birthday curse thing, and we're going into it. We're thinking, right, Leicester, weakened team. We've got to right our wrongs. We're going to be backfiring. I think Zakiri might get a chance. He's going to score, and he's going to just love it. So it's going to be a 2-1 win to us.
2-1 win.
Yeah,
Big statement.
I think that all the time Vardy's on the pitch that they'll score. So there's a chance that they'll score. So I think Leicester will probably get one, being Vardy. But I reckon we'll bang a couple. I reckon it'll be 2-1.
2-1. 2-1. Love that.
You think we'll bang a couple?
Ben?
Yeah.
Ben, what do you reckon?
I don't know. 2-0 probably. I think
No,
as long as we don't concede a stupid goal, which we have done. Well, we conceded a stupid goal against Palace. Maybe you could say 2 stupid goals against Palace, and obviously a really stupid goal against West Brom. I know our defence was brilliant, and that's what helped us get on that really good run of those 6 games unbeaten. And defence have kind of started making mistakes against since Webster's been out. So, as long as our defence is strong and doesn't make a stupid mistake, and our strikers actually take one of their chances, there won't be many goals in it, but hopefully we'll nick one.
I reckon a score draw. I reckon 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
I'll take 1-1. That's actually one more thing I was going to say just before we end. We've noticed Adam Webster a lot now.
Yeah.
I think if anyone were giving him stick before, mate, you can see the difference in Lewis Dunk's confidence when not having Webster next to him. I think that duo was so underappreciated.
Underrated. Yeah.
Underrated, underappreciated. Yeah. It was just people you just have to give Webster stick because he made a mistake. Whereas in reality, without him, I think there's no mistake that we haven't won since he's been out. Is that right? I think he went out for the Burnley game.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And we've just been awful since. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I really don't. He's nowhere near the level of Adam Webster. And I think that the confidence that Webster and Dunk have next to each other, I mean, I think it's also maybe even affecting Dunk and White because it's just been poor at times in defence. I think Webster's impact on the team is so much bigger than maybe we thought. And I'm glad that people can finally maybe see it now, because I've always liked Webster and he's starting to prove it now. So hopefully when he ever comes back, God knows when that'll be, because it'll probably be next season now, knowing our injury list. Yeah, so our medical team might as well just retire, because there's literally no point in having them. I mean, we have someone get injured.
We are really missing March and Webster.
But I was about to say, March and Webster have been...
We're missing them too.
Yeah,
you're right.
Lamptey will be a boost. Lamptey will be a new dynamic.
I'm sure he'll be on the bench against Leicester, won't he? I'm sure he'll be on the bench.
Hopefully.
Because he'll have an extra week of training.
That's a massive dynamic in our team that we've been missing, Lamptey. It's become more apparent now.
What could have been, boys? What could have been? Imagine we had all 3 fit. March, Tariq Lamptey and Webster all fit throughout the whole season. Imagine.
That's 3 starting defenders out for the last, month?
Yeah.
So, if you put anyone else in there, if this was Liverpool, they'd be saying, Liverpool are depleted. Whereas, sign a petition to get him back. So, with us, it's like people don't really care about that. It goes unnoticed, doesn't it? That's actually something that we need to consider.
Like I said earlier, no one cares about Brighton.
No one cares about Brighton
because no one cares about
little
us.
Old Brighton.
A very few portion of our population in the UK care about Brighton, and we're lucky to be some of those.
Do you know what it is though? I feel like that's actually a good thing for us, because that means that we don't like with the donkey thing, we don't get fines and stuff like that. So if we do anything wrong, no one really cares. It's only Brighton. Let them do what they want. And
it also means that we wind everyone up when we beat them. It really seems to get under the skin of Sky Sports. I don't know why. When we win a game, it seems so bitter.
Mate. Don't get me started on the whole Sky Sports coverage, because every time we play, I kid you not, in a half an hour preview, we get maybe 5 minutes talked about, and then 25 minutes about
They didn't even have
Liverpool,
pundits in the West Brom game,
did
they?
Yeah, they didn't have pundits.
No. It was just the commentators.
I noticed
Lee
that.
Hendry and the commentator done the pre-half-time and post.
That's a joke.
Tragic.
That's a disgrace.
They're that worthless to the Premier League that they don't even.
And the funniest thing is was that everyone was slating how bad of a game it was going to be. I remember loads of my friends were like, West Brom Brighton is going to be the worst game ever. It's a 3 p.m. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff because no one cares about it and all this stuff. And it was the most talked about game on the week. And I was like, hey.
Yeah, but not we did lose. So we still lost the
game. We did lose. That was a minor a very big bad thing. But we were the most talked about team. So swings and roundabouts and all that. But no, boys, it's been a pleasure. It's been a great little therapy session as per every week, and hopefully people listening as well can go through the pain with us. I think that's the nice thing. We're all going through the same pain together. Just think about it like that.
If you got this far. If you got this far, comment sack Lee Mason. Just put sack Lee Mason.
Yeah, sack
Get him out. Mason. Get him out of the Prem. Sack all of them. Get rid of all of them.
Sack Lee
Love
Mason.
That. And of course, as per every week, please, if you're watching on YouTube, please do like, comment and subscribe. It does mean a lot to us. And keep streaming on Spotify and what's the other one? Apple, of course.
Apple.
Yeah.
They all
Apple
any streaming site. Yeah, we're on there.
If you listen on Deezer, then sort your life out. But obviously that's great for us as well. But it's weird, isn't it? Some people actually. I look at our Statistics.
Analysis.
God, can't even say the word.
Analytics. Go on.
Analytics. Jesus Christ, we're a shambles today.
Go on.
And yeah, some people listen to it on like I think called Podcaster or mini podcast something, and also Deezer. I'm like,
Never even heard of it.
Listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, mate.
Let's not
Unless they
discriminate,
don't have,
Ben.
they might have Android.
Let's not discriminate, Ben. They might not have the facilities for that, big man. But yeah, right.
Yeah, but Android you can get Spotify.
We're rambling anyway. We're rambling.
Yeah, we're waffling now. Right. Point.
Peace out. Peace out. Put down Sackley Mason, and we'll see you next week.
And also, actually, wait.
I was going to do my little
So
click
Sackley
thing.
Mason,
Ruined it.
Sackley Mason, and happy birthday, Ryan. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Not Ryan Rosette. Some people think
20.
your name's Ryan
What?
Rosette
How
because
has that happened? I look about 16.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
actually mad.
Ryan. Some people think your name's Ryan Rosette because on the graphic they're looking at
because of
now.
the text.
Look at the D looks like a bit of an O.
Yeah, it does.
It's quite
It
funny.
does.
But
Adset.
But it's happy birthday,
yeah.
Ryan Rosette.
It's a good job it's not Renconter, otherwise it'd be really confusing, like my mum's name. It'd be like, what? How'd you spell that? Never mind. At least it's not. Anyway,
Mate,
boys.
right,
see
peace.
you later. Bye.
Peace.